But to just further emphasize his point, the time you take to go out and audition, and again, I'm so glad I really invested in getting to know people who were a couple of steps ahead of me in their career in pursuing opera. It was the best thing that could have ever happened to me because I saw how not stupid they are, but how unfair and stupid the whole system was. In the time it takes to audition, and remember, sorry, let me rephrase. In the time it takes to pay to apply to audition, then go to the audition, and then have to go to about 20 auditions to get one gig, like gas money, time, like literally you're better off working a minimum wage job. I shit you not. You are better working on a minimum wage job.
For you, if you're a beatboxer and you're watching this, be a beatboxer, man. But make your own videos. Don't send them into Swiss to get that little bit of attention for yourself. Don't try to win every battle and go to every battle and spend all your money on that. Spend money on you.
100%. As bad as people think Swiss beatbox is, boy, can it get much worse. Swiss beatbox is a music label light. Swiss beatbox doesn't make people sign 180 contracts, which means basically, in unelegant terms, you're getting shafted. You know, he's going to talk about here, and I'll just say it because I don't need to watch the video over and over again. He's going to make a point that, you're going to make $500,000 on a video, but see like 5% of it, 10% of it. That's what a music label does. That's what they do. They take on a lot of artists that they think they have a small chance to be successful. They throw money at it, but in order to justify that cost, when someone does make it, which is uncommon even with the monetary investment, when someone's successful, they got to milk a massive percent of that. But people really, really want a label, even now, which is insane. People want a label because what artists love the idea of outsourcing business. Who wouldn't want to live in a world where you're just making your own art and that's enough, right? Of course I want to live in that world, but if I do that, I have to hand off the responsibilities of my business, and not only do I get financially shafted, but I'm probably not going to be able to do what I want to do, right? If you want to make music, but you're trying to hand off the responsibility of running a business, of marketing yourself, of understanding how to produce audio, of understanding how to make videos, you're going to hand that off to Swiss Beatbox. You're not even going to be able to make the music you want to make. You're going to have to learn inhale, throat bass, whatever weird sound that you're going to have to learn, or vibration bass, or 626, like any of these sounds. If you want to compete, you have to make them. So what music are you making? Maybe you like to do crazy sound. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't make like tutorials, or you don't, do something. And by the way, he talks about React videos in beatboxing and how prevalent they are. Just to be abundantly clear, the React meta is basically ubiquitous in every single niche, and that's on the fault of platforms. The TLDR is they're easy to make, and so you can make topical videos pretty much quicker than any other format. So that's why they're massive. In the time it takes someone to make something original, like Delo's routines, I can make like 50 videos in that time. And so collectively, I make way more from that abundance. But so anyway, that's why I make my own stuff too, but no one cares because it's not a React video. And I didn't build my reputation on being like a super sick musician. So, but anyway, that's not here or there. But to just further emphasize his point, the time you take to go out and audition, and again, I'm so glad I really invested in getting to know people who were a couple of steps ahead of me in their career in pursuing opera. It was the best thing that could have ever happened to me because I saw how not stupid they are, but how unfair and stupid the whole system was. In the time it takes to audition, and remember, sorry, let me rephrase. In the time it takes to pay to apply to audition, then go to the audition, and then have to go to about 20 auditions to get one gig, like gas money, time, literally you're better off working a minimum wage job. I shit you not. You are better working on a minimum wage job and taking that money and reinvesting it. Now, a logo is probably not the first thing you invest in, right? Production quality is not the first thing you invest in. That's a different topic. If anybody wants to know about marketing and what I've learned, I can give you resources, and just reach out to me. Instagram, Twitter, probably Discord is easiest, but regardless, invest in yourself and go through the process of fucking it up for 2, 3, 4 years. That's what I did. I graduated. I have a degree in it. I'm good at it. I'm not great at it, but I'm good at it. I'm good at singing. And I worked at Trader Joe's for, I shouldn't say fuck all money, but it wasn't a lot. But I got insurance, and they were really generous with PTO and all sorts of other things. It's a great company. But I would work evening shifts, so I would wake up early 3 or 4 days a week, and I would make a video. Before I really got to where I wanted to be, or in the beginnings of where I want to be, I should say, I made about 400 videos. And that sounds like a massive amount of videos. It is. It's not a low number. But 2 things. One, I wasn't making videos about opera because pretty much no one gives a shit about opera. At least, like most people don't care, right? So I wasn't making videos about opera. So I was having a major disconnect. I had to learn what people care about, to learn what's popular. So there was a higher learning curve, whereas if you're a beatboxer and you kind of are in the scene, you kind of know what beatboxers care about. So it's a little easier to kind of get your foot in the door. But yeah, I made like 400 videos when you include Instagram. I made a lot, and there's a lot of videos on this YouTube channel that I unlisted because there's no correlation. So I tried different niches as well. You got to go through it, but the alternative is to go through this perpetual cycle of trying to hand off the responsibility of people who don't give a shit about you. They don't. They don't care about your success. That's none of their business. That's your business, literally. So, listen, maybe you make a lot of money performing for beatboxers. Maybe that happens to you. Awesome, cool. But that's not probably what's going to happen. And what I see a lot of is a lack of musicianship in beatboxers. Obviously, there are killer. Gene kicks my ass. There are plenty of really musical beatboxers, but there are also really successful beatboxers who basically understand nothing about song structure except for like EDM song structure, which is super easy, simple, or like they don't understand like harmony to like do arpeggios and create harmony. Like they don't understand sound design. There's like, actually, I want to give this man props. Look at how much shit he has and how much he did invest into himself. This is worth talking about because all of the things you see in his video are all production devices. Okay? The skill that's going to net you success is not how intricate your beatboxing is. It's not how intricate your technique is. Like, again, maybe you're a D-Lo. Maybe you're so sick that you make it, but it's extremely unlikely. But the saying that I just want to beat into your head, good artists make great music. Professional artists make great music fast. You need to make a lot of shit before you see anything. In my case, 400 videos. I want to get my music out there. I'm not going to lie, I've been a coward to not put my music out there. I've been afraid because of how judgmental conservatory was among and how nasty YouTube comments can be. But that's cowardice ultimately. So I've been a coward. I can make music quickly. I understand quite a few things about music theory. I play multiple instruments. I sing. I beatbox. I have a lot of tools to generate music very quickly. But even with that skill set, I fully expect to have to make at least 100 tracks. At least. And that might sound intimidating to you, but if I really committed to it, I could probably make maybe 10 to 20 tracks in a week. They would be not very good tracks, but they would be tracks. And that would be the starting point, right? So this idea that you go and compete, this idea that you seek the renown and respect of your peers, and that's going to net you a career, or that's going to be what you do for a living, you're screwing yourself. Frankly, if I'm being honest, you're wasting your time if this is what you want to do to make a living. It is a crime that this video only got 25,000 views. I'm hoping that literally every single one of those 25,000 are people who have professional aspirations in music. I really hope that's the case. But this is unbelievably true. And if it's not addressed, it gets worse. You think Swiss beatbox is bad. Holy shit. Have you seen Time Warner? Have you seen like any music label and the contracts? I mean, God, Taylor Swift. And I don't go gog over her. Like, she's a great songwriter, whatever. But like, the point is she's massive. She's massive. And she is still fighting her contracts from over, I think it's like been a decade since she signed that contract, and she still doesn't have the masters of her most famous initial songs. That's Taylor Swift. So what do you think happens when you sign with a label? I mean, damn, if you think Swiss beatbox is bad, you have no idea. Probably opera is the most egregious I've ever seen it. It's a rich person's game. The people that I know who have made it were either sick talented when they were young so they could scrape by on just a handful of gigs and they would go 10 to 20 years and then finally have a career, or, and this is more likely, they weren't really phenomenal. They were kind of good, but they have money. So they just didn't work that much at all other than gigs, other than practice. And so they did that for 7 years to go to, do young artist programs, to go to, prestigious coaches or prestigious, teachers, et cetera, et cetera. And, they did that. They had to float that for 7 years minimum. So I can't think of anything more egregious than opera. And it's because it's so top heavy. You cannot and should not prioritize only beatboxers. You should be trying to make music, if you want a career, that helps people, that people enjoy. That's powerful. This is probably the douchiest thing that I've ever seen in the opera world. I made a video about, like how long it took me to get a B flat, and I was proud of it. And a former colleague sent me a message, no context, no text. It was a sound file of him hitting the same B flat, and I was like, "Sounds great." It's probably the douchiest thing that I've ever seen. And don't get me wrong, my colleagues think that YouTube is super lowbrow. that, and they're afraid. They're afraid to make YouTubes. They're afraid to do kind of the videos that I do, because if they get anything wrong, they're afraid of what it will do to their reputation. Now, let me make things very clear. If no one gives a fuck about you or no one knows who you are, you don't have a reputation anyway. And to double down on this, the guy who made the periodic table was told not to because it would sabotage his career. And his answer? I don't have a career anyway, so let's do it. And now he's the guy who made the periodic table, right? I don't have to audition. I have my own platform. I do pretty much what I want. I get to sit on my ass and teach people this thing that I've been learning for 15 years. I can help other people. I teach people about music by, talking about their favorite artists who are really talented. And I just go point by point. I'm like, this is why this is special. So I make my money sitting on my ass, talking about music, helping people with music, and watching great performances. It's the greatest gig there is. I make way more money on average annually than people who have opera chorus gigs. I know that for a fact. Like, the only exception would be Chicago Lyric or the Met or San Francisco Opera. But those are like, good luck getting into those. And I do release my own music, and it doesn't get many views, but 5,000 views, 5 people sitting there and watching the video for more than 30 seconds, that's still a lot of fucking people. Don't waste your time. If you want to do this, don't waste your time. Don't do it. Get started. Listen, you're not going to have all this shit that you're not going to have all of this shit that he has right here to start with. I can't imagine, I don't have all that shit. I have a piano, I have a MIDI piano, I have some plugins, I have 3 monitors, I have 3 shitty PCs that together make one effective PC because they can process things in parallel. I practice piano a little bit, I practice beatboxing a little bit, I practice singing, I practice writing. I do a lot. I have lights, I have a camera. I've been investing in this for years. So get started. If this is what you want to do. Get started making music for other people that you also enjoy making, right? Don't be like don't compromise entirely, not for any ethical reason, but for your own happiness. You know what I mean? At a certain point, you can't pay me money to make hip hop beats, not because hip hop is bad, but because it's not for me, which is okay, right? I don't hip hop artists are amazing. There's some rappers I'm like, holy crap, right? But it's just not what I want to do, and it's popular right now. Or sea shanties is another example. I like sea shanties kind of, but a career off of sea shanties, I'd shoot off my own foot. So get started. Constantly try to see what people like and evaluate whether or not you like that. Or maybe you can give a little and you like elements of it, and so you keep giving it, but get so good at that you can do that and you can fulfill what other people need and want from you, and then keep going and making other things. I cover so many genres on this channel because I just keep making shit. That's the secret. Make a lot of shit. It's not complicated, it's just difficult. So get started, invest in you. Watch his video 3 times. Yeah. That's it. Don't do this competition shit. It's not worth it.